This is Uma from UHS Enterprises. I hope everyone is doing well. As you are aware of us, UHS Enterprises is an authorized Tally Gold partner in the UAE for over 12 years now. We provide end-to-end services including sales, support, customization, renewals, mobile application, and cloud solutions for Tally software. We have a strong team of dedicated professionals committing to serve our customers, and we are currently expanding our team further to enhance our support capabilities for e-invoicing. We are excited to have you all in joining this session. As you may be aware, there are significant discussions happening across the UAE market regarding e-invoicing. This session is designed to give you a clear insight into the scope of e-invoicing, its spaces, and different models such as B2B and B2G. We also cover the clearance and reporting mechanisms, including ASP involvement and reporting to the FTA. In addition, we will discuss how Tally is preparing for e-invoicing in the UAE. Tally has been a trusted business management software for over 39 years and has already successfully implemented e-invoicing frameworks in India and Saudi Arabia. With this experience, Tally will be well equipped to support our customers during their go-live journey on e-invoicing. Before we begin, we would like to inform you that we are creating a WhatsApp community and the groups using the contact numbers you have provided. This is because individual messaging is restricted by WhatsApp. So through these groups, we will be sharing the regular updates on e-invoicing, including ASP accreditation of Tally, product knowledge, implementation guidance, and training on e-invoicing. We encourage you to stay connected through these groups and communities. So we will be updating on e-invoicing time to time. We also shared a registration link to help us categorize the businesses based on whether they are above or below the 50 million threshold. This will help us to prioritize the implementation and provide better support to the customers. Ignore if you have already registered. Please note that today's session is an overview of e-invoicing. The demonstrations and content will be further enhanced in future sessions based on your requirements. All participants have been muted during the presentation. And also we understand that you may have several questions. You are welcome to share your questions in the chat box. Alternately, you can unmute yourself after the presentation for discussion or connect with our team members for a detailed explanation. For today's session, we are pleased to have Mr. Praveen Kumar, Business Manager and the Product Expert from Tally Solutions. With over 8 years of experience, deep expertise in Bahrain, KSA and UAE market, and more than 100 successful live sessions, he is the ideal person to guide us through the today's discussion. Praveen, it's for you again. Please take it.
Thank you, Uma, for taking us and giving such a sweet introduction. Thank you so much. And again, welcome everyone for this session curated specifically in collaboration with UHS for understanding and getting an overview of what is UAE e-invoice and how Tally's product is going to churn out. So in today's session, we will understand the importance of e-return, which was launched a couple of months ago, right? We'll have a quick overlook on that. Then we are going to see a introduction to what is UE invoice, how is it going to have an impact on all the businesses, and what are the due diligence as all the small, medium, and large sectors need to do to be compliant with the regulations that is already out. And then we'll try to understand the PayPal framework, the PayPal network, how each and every invoice that you raise is going to flow through the framework of this, complying with the FTA regulations. And finally, the much awaited glimpse of how UAE e-invoice is going to turn out in Tally Prime and how you can all start readiness towards your journey to adopt e-invoice in your companies. We'll take a look at that with the preparations and next steps. So The UAE has a big vision of 2031 where the economy wants to go towards more digitization and paperless. And one of the initiative of that is where e-invoice and VAT e-returns falls into the place. So VAT e-returns was provided by a very handful of solution providers in UAE, out of which Tally was one of them. So we signed a digital tax agreement with the Federal Tax Authority in order to build and bridge Tally Prime with Imara Tax Portal. So let's take a quick look at how the VAT e-return works with a complete end-to-end solution within Tally, right from configuring your VAT number until filing your VAT e-returns. And then the hot topic, talk of the town, the e-invoice, let's deep dive into that as well, post VAT e-returns. So VAT e-returns marks a big leap into compliance where we bridge Tally as an accounting software, as a business solution software with Imara Tax Portal. Let me run you through a quick video as to how this works in Tally Prime. Once you click on Exchange right at the top, the new option appears Upload VAT 201 return. Once you click on this, it is immediately going to ask you to log into your unique Imara Tax Portal login credentials. The moment you click on login, you need to enter the registered email ID with your Imara Tax and the unique password along with the security code. Once you've plugged in your credentials, automatically the bridge is established between Tally Prime and Imara Tax Portal for a period of 30 minutes. So once you have done this, you can go back to Tally and click on Start Session. So now Tally pulls out all the historical VAT filing that you have done and the previous history of what was a VAT return, what is a VAT position that was paid, and what is the current return that is pending to be uploaded. So let's say for the month of September, we are trying to file. You can see before filing, you can all just verify the total standard sales, your imports, your zero rated supplies, emirate, all of that. So once you click on submit and once you reconfirm to the system that yes, we are good to go with the VAT return and click on yes, instantly the complete VAT data will be uploaded to Imara Tax Portal and a VAT reference number will be generated from Imara Tax Portal. So this marks a complete shift in terms of manual e-filing to a complete automated solution where your entire VAT compliance is automated plus digitized. With that said, we built on top of it, which is the UAE e-invoicing, the next leap into compliance. So before we dive into it, so let us try to understand what exactly is the UAE invoicing and why is it required. So all of you have been already doing digital invoicing in some form or the other, right? So you could be generating invoices in Excel, PDF, or through accounting software like Tally. However, e-invoice is different. The key difference is that e-invoice must be generated in a machine readable format prescribed by government. The government specifies the exact format in which invoice should be generated and only service providers that are accredited by the Ministry of Finance and FTA are allowed to generate and read e-invoices. This is a significant shift from the digital invoice practices that we follow today. In the UAE framework, the e-invoice system is being built upon Open PEPAL framework. Open PEPAL is an internationally accepted framework that originated in Europe, specifically in Belgium, and now is already being used across several countries in the world. Why did UAE choose this framework? This framework facilitates cross-border trade, ensures high levels of data transparency, accuracy, and security. OpenPeppol also enforces strict norms and standards that all ASP accredited service providers must comply with. A unique aspect of UE e-invoice is that the unique characteristic is complete traceability. Every step of the invoice lifecycle is traceable, starting from the time you raise an invoice in Tally Prime until when it is shared with your ASP, your buyer ASP, and then your buyer accepts or rejects, and then finally reported to tax authority. This end-to-end visibility is a major objective of e-invoice. In terms of, many of you might be wondering whether adopting e-invoice will it only hurt the efficiency of my business? Will I have to hire specific dedicated people to manage the e-invoicing in my company, right? So will this be an extra cost, extra hassle and burden as SMEs in UAE? No, it is going to be a complete opposite to that. This is a one time implementation, one time structuring of your internal uh, operations, which is going to only allow you to have a faster invoice processing. And of course, since it is all automated and digitized, it's going to provide you 100% consistency. And also, you'll be able to completely track with the help of instant audit trials. So it's not just a compliance upgrade, it's an efficiency revolution in UAE. Understanding the mandate which was released on 29th September and additionally to a mandate released on 23rd of February 2026, the UAE invoice mandate specifies that any company or any person that does business in UAE must and will fall under the law of e-invoice. However, e-invoice is applicable only on B2B, that is business to business, and business to government transactions. Business to customer or B2C, the end user will not follow under UAE e-invoicing. The implementation timeline for those business who are more than 50 million in terms of annual revenue will have to select the ASP before 31st July 2026 and will start their first e-invoice from 1st Jan next year. And those business who have less than 50 million in annual revenue will start, or the last day to register is 31st March, and they will start e-invoice from 1st July 2027. But yes, those businesses less than 50 million, if they want to start early, right, and not wait until 1st July or 31st March, yes, there is also an option of voluntary registration. You can do that as well. In the phase 3, all the government entities also fall under this scope where they have to select their ASP by 31st March 2027, and they will also have to get their system ready and start issuing e-invoice from 1st October 2027. So many of you might already been hearing terms like PayPal certification, PayPal network, right? So what and how does the invoice get exchanged through PayPal network? So there is a five corner model which has been marked here as you can see. So let's say you and your customer are using Tally, and of course, Tally will be your ASP as well. So in this case, once you raise your invoice in Tally Prime, and generate e-invoice automatically as an ASP, we will be validating your invoice. Whether this invoice contains all the fields, all the regulations that has been mandated by the Ministry of Finance and FTA, and once we verify it and everything is good to go, then the invoice will be shared with your customer's ASP, let's say in this case Tally as well. So even at the corner 3, it will be validated again. So if anything is missing, again it will be sent back to the supplier. But yes, let's say everything is fine, then it will start being visible in your customer's system. Once they see Tally Prime appear there and they can accept the e-invoice, finally the entire cycle will close with the transactions being reported to tax authority. So they will act as corner 5. So this is how the entire e-invoice flows through PayPal network, where you generate an invoice, your ASP validates, he will send to your buyer ASP, and then it will go to your buyer. Once he accepts, the loop closes with him reporting to tax authority. So the FTA has visibility in all these areas as to where the invoice was generated, what was the content, where it was shared, time, date, all of it. In Tally being India's top and leading e-invoice solution, and as Uma mentioned, we are also one of the leading e-invoice providers registered and accredited by ZATCA in Saudi Arabia. Now we are getting ready for UAE. So when it comes to Tally's preparation and readiness to that, we are already PEPAL certified providers in UAE. Our next step is the application to ASP with FTA and MOF is already underway. We could be registered and uploaded as an ASP in Imara Tax Portal anytime. So please keep an eye on the Imara Tax Portal ASP page. And then, as we saw in collaboration with FTA, we already signed a digital tax agreement with which e-filing is already live. So our product development has taken a good amount of progress, which we will walk through in some time. So e-invoicing and Tally Prime, let us take a quick visual walkthrough as to how it is going to work and how it is being built in Tally. So since e-invoice is going to impact majorly like 98% of your sales invoices, let me take you through the complete exchange process in Tally Prime. So the sales voucher remains as it is. There's not going to be a major change in terms of your sales voucher. So let's say this is the product and this is the customer that we are raising a sales invoice to. 10 pieces of it, 285 per piece. And here we are also charged a VAT of 139.65 AD. Once I accept the invoice, immediately it will ask me whether do you want to generate e-invoice. The moment you accept as yes, the exchange between Tally and Tally as an ASP will happen. So this is the process where your invoice will be validated by Tally as an ASP, and once we find all the information is correct and in line with the guidelines, then you will get a notification that it has been uploaded successfully. Now this is where that particular invoice will be sent to your customer's ASP. So many of you might be having immediate question, how can we know and how can we check where exactly my invoice is? Is it accepted? Is it rejected? Where is it pending? Right? So yes, if you do click on this particular option, that is provide VAT and invoice details, once you make it yes, you're going to get a instant progress report where it captures your unique identifier number. Each and every invoice will have this unique identifier number, right? So this is the number and code which FTA will be using to track the entire life cycle of your e-invoice. And then it is also going to capture the date and timestamp. So yes, right now, let's say if you're wondering like which corner the invoice is in, right? Whether my customer ASP has accepted or not, or my customer has rejected, or it's already reported to FTA and it is pending from them. You can simply click on the status details on the right hand side. It is going to give you C2, C3 and C5 levels of progress. So you can see here my the seller ASP, or let's say your ASP, has validated it and he has already sent it to your customer's ASP, which is C3. It is in progress. So it is pending from your customer's ASP. Usually all of this process happens in a matter of minutes. And then finally, when C5, that is FTA or the Ministry of Finance, accepts, then the entire loop will be completed. So, yes, the next question comes in. Okay, the e-invoice is generated and shared to my customer. But what are these mandatory format that government has prescribed? There are around 51 line items and information that is mandated by the government in all of your e-invoice. I have broken down into invoice details, seller information, buyer information, document totals, tax breakdown, and invoice line. So there are around 51 items and details that are a must in all of your e-invoice. It doesn't matter what is the value of your invoice, but if it's under e-invoice, all of this information must and should be available. So yes, you need not worry because definitely keeping a tab whether all of this 51 information is printed on the invoice or not is a big hassle. So that is where your ASP as in Tally is going to play a huge role in terms of ensuring that you are 100% compliant. As you can see here, UUID is going to appear right at the top. Time and date of exchange, it's going to appear right here. Your VAT number, your TIN number, your customer's VAT number, PayPal ID, invoice date, total, everything. Tally is going to verify and ensure all of the information is present on the invoice as per the guidelines of e-invoice. There are certain exceptional cases where the government also mandated they need further information. For instance, there are cases where in business we provide discount. This is one such example, right? When we give a discount, it could be for multiple reasons. But e-invoice in place, you will have to declare everything openly to the government. Let's say, for instance, in this particular sales invoice, I'm going to give a standard flat 2% of my discount in the invoice. So once you enter on the amount here, immediately Tally is going to list few of the reasons that is as per the guidelines of Federal Tax Authority and Ministry of Finance as to why the discount is being provided. It could be that you opened a new outlet, so it could be a promotion that you're running. You have to select the appropriate reason, or it is a sample that you're providing to your customer, so could be that is a reason you have to select, or it is a standard discount that you usually provide to all of your customers. You can select accordingly. So yes, you must declare and choose appropriate reason as to why the discount is being provided. There are instances where, let's say, in a company where there is a maker checker operation implemented. Like there are 2 to 3 data entry people or an accountant who are recording and punching the sales entry, and there is also your manager or finance head who checks these invoices and then approves them, right? In this case, real-time e-invoice generation could be a big challenge. So this is where government has considered these exceptional cases, and Tally has been frontier in terms of implementing and providing a solution for this, which is where we came up with a bulk exchange of e-invoice facility. So what this does is, let's say when you go to your sales transaction, you click on F12 configuration, you see this new option appear. If you keep this option, send e-invoice details after saving, then after every transaction, immediately you're going to generate e-invoice. But as you know, sometimes you're not sure of the content of the invoice, and sometimes you need authorization of your seniors to ensure that the right details have been punched in the invoice. Or sometimes even your customer has not confirmed whether this is the final information that he needs on the invoice. In such cases, keep the option no. So just what this does is you're going to only record and save your sales voucher or sales transactions. Then you can go to this new report called send for e-invoicing. Once you enter on this, all those voucher, all those sales transactions are going to list here. Once verified, once approval received, once you're clear that this is the invoice that we want to raise, then you can select one by one or you can select all at once and then click on send. Now in bulk, you're going to generate e-invoice for all these invoices in click of a button. But let's say I want to only generate for at least top 3 or top 4 of these invoices. You can go here, press spacebar and select this invoice, and then you can generate e-invoice only for these 3 transactions. Yes, it is very important to track the status, completion, rejection, and mismatches that are going to appear in e-invoice. Like any compliance UE has implemented, if you fail to comply or if you fail to adopt the norms of the regulations, you are going to attract penalties. So yes, e-invoice report is going to be your next friend where you're going to spend a lot of time on ensuring compliance. So right here, you can see uncertain transaction as the bucket which is provided. Some of you might have been familiar this with what we have given in VAT as well. So same option is given here also. This particular uncertain transaction which says correction needed is specifically designed to save all those vouchers where your ASP might have rejected, your customer might have rejected, or your customer's ASP might have rejected for multiple reasons. Could be the VAT registration details in the master or in the invoice is incomplete, or let's say nature of transaction is not defined, or let's say you might have undercharged less than 5% of VAT or overcharged more than 5%. Any such anomalies, it is going to filter and report it here that it needs correction, it needs rectification. So once you enter here, you can see the description. As per that, you can fix or correct your invoices. And then there is also this report pending for invoice generation, where you can choose again to generate your invoice in bulk. So yes, we can choose all of this manually, generate the invoice in one go. So yes, how do we prepare for a smooth transition from here, right? So let's say you want to get started with ensuring that, okay, we are done the checklist before adopting the final e-invoice. The first thing you can get started is, and make sure that you enter your company name, your company address, your company's VAT number in Tally exactly as per VAT certificate. The same follows even for your customers and suppliers. Their company name, their address, and their VAT number should be as per VAT certificate. It must be accurate. And third, which is where many of the businesses fail to comply, is ensuring all your stock items, all your list of services are properly mapped. If they are 5% VATable, are they zero rated, are they exempt, or are they out of scope of VAT? Ensuring the taxability is configured accurately in the master is utmost important. And fourth, as you saw, your invoice validation, your PayPal IDs, making sure that the invoice buyer is accepting the invoice, they're validating, making sure that FTA gets your invoice on time. All of this is going to be managed by ASP. So it is very, very important for you to understand the role ASP will play and familiarize with yourself on the role and integration if any required. And as I mentioned earlier, even today, if we raise an invoice and let's say customer says, please do change certain content, like change the rate or give us some discount. A common habit or common practice is we immediately go back to invoice and alter it. So yes, that is a big no-no once you move to e-invoice, which is why you can start the practice early. Start ensuring that you issue credit notes or debit notes for any corrections rather than amending your invoices. And sixth is, as you know, right from recording your e-invoice to filing your VAT return to ensuring your e-invoice is generated, coordinated, and ensuring that you comply across the board in terms of the guidelines, ensuring that your audit happens, ensuring your business continuity, your data is utmost important, which is totally in handled in Tally. So ensuring that Tally is on the latest version and Tally has an active software subscription becomes even more important with the invoice. So please do ensure that Tally is on the latest version. You use all the benefits of Tally to protect your data. And then third, you have an active Tally software subscription, which is very vital for your e-invoice continuity. And finally, we know that human error is always possible, right? So in this case, please do ensure and start training your team, staff, wherever they are involved in terms of the invoicing process. They must know what is their role, they must know what needs to be done as per the law and what not to be done. So, yes, speaking of being compliant, speaking of ensuring that you're on the latest version to be compatible with the invoice, please do update to the latest version of Tally Prime, which is 7.0. Now, once you update, what is it that you must do? The first is start enabling Tally Drive, which is a scheduled auto cloud backup. You can set a particular schedule every day, even if your Tally is off. Tally is off, turned off, even then Tally will trigger an automatic backup which will be stored not locally but in Tally Drive, which is a cloud storage provided free of cost to all of you. What this does is, at any given point, your system fails, your system crashes. In all this case, you can be at peace by simply logging into Tally Drive and download the latest available backup so that your business runs smoothly. And yes, there are other features added to it. And since we are discussing more on compliance, as you can see, the native support across interface with a local dirham symbol is already provided. And I'm really happy to say that Tally is one of the very first and only business management software to give you this facility where all the previous transaction that you have recorded and the current transaction that you're going to record will have a native dirham symbol compatibility that is in line with Central Bank of UAE.